The ancient enemy within. Close your eyes for a moment. Not literally, keep them on the screen, but in your mind's eye. I want you to recall the last time fear held you hostage. Maybe it was this morning, the moment you had to speak up in a meeting and your throat clenched shut. The second you saw an opportunity to change your life and a voice whispered, "Who are you to try?" The instant you faced a conflict and you chose silence over truth to avoid the tremble in your hands. That feeling? It's ancient. It is older than cities, older than writing. It is the primordial signal that once kept our ancestors alive. But in our modern world, this ancient alarm system has been hijacked. It no longer fires only in the face of saber-toothed tigers. It fires in the face of a spreadsheet, a social gathering, a vulnerable conversation, a dream that feels too big. Fear has become a tyrant, a false king ruling from a throne inside your own skull. And you've been paying it tribute in lost opportunities, in stifled potential, in quiet regret. But what if I told you that the greatest warriors and strategists in history, the Spartans at Thermopylae, the Roman emperors who ruled the known world, the samurai who lived by a code of honor, did not seek to eliminate this tyrant. They sought to depose it, to interrogate it, to turn its chaotic energy into focused power. They understood a secret. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decisive judgment that your purpose is more important than your panic. This channel is called Mental Spartan for a reason. We are not here for vague inspiration. We are here for forge-ready training, for tactical philosophy. Today, we are going to war, not with weapons of steel, but with weapons of logic, discipline, and perspective. This is a 90-minute masterclass, a complete training camp for your mind. We will dissect the very anatomy of fear using Stoic logic, the operating system of history's most resilient minds, and we will install 10 warrior techniques to build a courage that is unshakable. This is not a lecture. This is a drill. And by the end of it, you will not just understand courage, you will have a blueprint to embody it. Our first move? We don't charge the gates. We do something far more strategic. We invite the enemy inside for questioning. Technique 1. The Pre-Meditatio Malorum, the invasion drill. Rooted in Seneca and the Stoic school, this is the disciplined practice of rehearsing adversity. The premise is that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. By voluntarily and rationally confronting potential disasters in our mind, we perform a psychological inoculation. It transforms the unknown, fear's breeding ground, into a known quantity. This is not anxious rumination, which is passive and emotional, but a strategic, active visualization where you maintain the calm of a general wargaming scenarios. You are not trying to feel the fear, but to solve the problem it represents, thereby proving to your subconscious that you have agency, even in worst-case landscapes. The true power lies in the granular detail. Don't just think, "I might fail." Walk through it. What does day one of failure look like? Who would you tell and how? What financial adjustments would you make? What skill would you begin rebuilding? By charting this path, you accomplish two things. First, you see that even the worst is survivable and often contains the seeds of a new beginning. Second, you pre-prepare logical responses, so if a fragment of the fear manifests, your mind retrieves a plan instead of panic. This technique dismantles the paralyzing uniqueness of your fear, rendering it a manageable set of circumstances. Technique 2, the Dichotomy of Control, the Spartan's Battle Map. Epictetus's opening to the Enchiridion is the bedrock of emotional stability. The fundamental error causing all distress is misplacing our efforts, investing our will, our happiness, and our sense of self into outcomes we cannot command. The dichotomy is the ultimate prioritization filter. Your opinion, your pursuit, your desire, your aversion, these are your inner citadel. Everything external, from your reputation to your property to the actions of others, is ultimately not yours to rule. Courage emerges when you stop demanding the world conform to your wishes and instead focus exclusively on your own correct judgments and virtuous actions within the unfolding events. Modern application requires expanding this into a trichotomy. 1. What you fully control, your judgments, values, and intentional actions. 2. What you can influence, your preparation, your persuasion, your effort. 3. What you control nothing over, the final outcome, the past, others' choices. Fear and anxiety are signals that you are over-invested in category 3. The warrior's task is to audibly or in writing state the fear, then categorize each element. The immediate directive becomes withdraw all emotional investment from category 3, optimize your effort in category 2, and anchor your identity and self-worth firmly in the integrity of your actions in category 1. Technique 3. Objectification and deconstruction, seeing the naked truth. Marcus Aurelius repeatedly advised himself to strip away the story. Every disturbing event has a bare objective reality and the subjective narrative we drape over it. Fear is almost entirely in the narrative, the what it means about us, our future, our safety. The Stoic practice of fantasia catalepticae, grasping the impression, involves intercepting the raw sense impression before the mind's value judgment colors it. Is it a sensation in your chest? A set of words on a screen? A person making a facial expression? By describing the event in plain, clinical, almost boring language, you drain the emotional charge and see it as a simple phenomenon of nature to be addressed, not a personalized omen. When fear strikes, pause and perform a factual autopsy. Write or state, the physical sensation is a tightening in my stomach and faster breath. The external event is that my boss has asked for a meeting with no context. The story I am telling is that I am in trouble and will be humiliated. This creates critical distance. You then address the facts. You can prepare for a meeting. You cannot, with any certainty, address the fictional story of humiliation. This technique breaks the catastrophic feedback loop between sensation and narrative, allowing the logical prefrontal cortex to re-engage. Technique 4. Voluntary Discomfort, forging the resilience muscle. The Cynic roots of Stoicism celebrated ascesis, training. By periodically and voluntarily choosing hardship, cold, hunger, simplicity, social awkwardness, we achieve two profound goals. First, we prove our independence from external comforts, reinforcing that our happiness is internal. Second, and more critically for courage, we expand our window of tolerance for discomfort. We teach our nervous system that the sensations of stress, lack, or unease are not emergencies, but temporary states we can endure and even find strength within. This builds a deep, non-intellectual confidence, a somatic knowing that you are tougher than your circumstances. This is not about masochism, but about strategic minor deprivations that challenge your comfort identity. It could be taking a cold shower for the final minute, skipping a meal intentionally, wearing simpler clothes, deleting social media apps for a weekend, or deliberately initiating a respectful conversation where you anticipate disagreement. The key is the voluntary nature. You are in command. Each completion is a vote for your self-efficacy. When involuntary hardship or fear arises, your subconscious now has a memory bank of evidence that you can handle discomfort, making the involuntary challenge feel less threatening. Technique 5. The view from above and memento mori, the ultimate perspective shift. These are two sides of the same cosmic coin. The view from above, practiced by Marcus Aurelius, involves a mental expansion, seeing your city from above, then your country, then the planet hanging in space. Your immediate concerns shrink against the vast theater of time, the rise and fall of empires, the countless lives already lived. Memento mori, remember you must die, is the temporal counterpart. It zooms in on the finitude and urgency of your own life. Together, they create a perspective that is both humbling and empowering. Your struggles are a tiny part of a vast story, yet the time you have to live with courage is desperately limited and therefore incredibly precious. Practice the view from above as a 3-minute meditation when overwhelmed. Visualize the scale. See your worry as a single thread in an immense tapestry. This induces a calm detachment. Practice memento mori not as a morbid fixation, but as a focusing tool. Keep a physical token, a skull, a stone on your desk. Let it ask you, is this fear worthy of my limited time? Does this inaction align with the fact that I will die? This perspective vaporizes trivial anxieties, fear of embarrassment, minor rejection, and magnifies the importance of acting on what truly matters, providing the courage to do so. Technique 6. Amor fati, the art of loving your battlefield. Coined by Nietzsche, but embodying the core Stoic acceptance of providence, amor fati means love of fate. It is the unconditional acceptance of every event, especially the obstacles and setbacks, as necessary and beneficial for your development. The Stoic concept of sympatheia, the interconnectedness of all things, holds that to wish for something different is to wish against the fundamental weaving of reality. This technique moves beyond mere acceptance to active embrace. The obstacle is not a barrier to your path. It is an essential part of the path itself, placed there to develop a strength you currently lack. This reframe turns every setback into a training module and every source of fear into a teacher. When faced with a fearful event or a defeat, consciously say aloud or write, "I love this because," and force yourself to find the strategic advantage. Lost a job? I love this because it forces me to reassess my true direction. Facing a difficult conversation? I love this because it is the forge where my integrity is tempered. This is not about denying pain, but about asserting sovereignty over its meaning. You are the author of the story. By choosing to see the event as fuel, you rob it of its power to victimize you and transform it into a source of agency and courage. Technique 7. The inner citadel, building the unassailable mind fortress. Marcus Aurelius described the soul as a citadel that cannot be breached if not betrayed from within. This fortress is not built of stone, but of your core principles, your faculty of judgment, prohoresis, and your commitment to virtue. External events, criticism, loss, chaos, are like weather beating against the walls. They cannot enter unless you open the gate through your own assent, your agreement that they are good or evil. The practice is the continual retreat inward to this calm center, where you observe the storms of emotion and external circumstance from a place of detachment, choosing your response based on wisdom, not reaction. Your inner citadel is built through daily study and affirmation of your core principles, e.g., my worth is determined by my character, not my success. When fear strikes, the immediate drill is to physically pause, take a deep breath, and consciously say, I am retreating to my citadel. In that mental space, you ask the Stoic questions. Is this within my control? What is the virtuous response here? What would my best self do? By making this a physical and mental ritual, you create a powerful neuroassociation between the feeling of fear and the subsequent action of seeking calm, principled judgment rather than spiraling into panic. Technique 8. Role rehearsal and the guiding exemplar, embodying the virtue. Aristotle noted that we become virtuous by performing virtuous acts. The Stoics, like Seneca, advised keeping a wise figure, a Cato, a Socrates, in mind as a guide. This technique leverages cognitive embodiment, the principle that acting as if you already possess a quality can neurologically and psychologically create it. By consciously adopting the posture, speech patterns, and decision-making framework of a person you deem courageous, you bypass the internal debate of, am I brave enough, and access a state of courage from the outside in. You are not being inauthentic, you are practicing a higher version of your authentic self. First, choose your exemplar, historical, fictional, or personal. Study their traits. Then, before a fear-inducing situation, take 5 minutes for a role rehearsal. Close your eyes and visualize the scenario unfolding, but see yourself from the third person, moving and speaking with the calm authority of your exemplar. How do they stand? How do they breathe? What is their facial expression? Then step into the situation embodying that character. This external performance creates an internal feedback loop. Your calm behavior signals safety to your amygdala, which down-regulates the fear response, making the courage feel more genuine. Technique 9. Journaling as the warrior's log, the praxis of proseuche, attention. Proseuche is the Stoic practice of vigilant, moment-to-moment attention to your inner state. Journaling is its primary training ground. As Seneca and Marcus Aurelius demonstrated, the written word forces clarity and objectivity. It is the difference between a chaotic battle and a general's after-action report. The evening review, examine, is not for self-criticism, but for the calm, analytical assessment of where your judgments aligned with or strayed away from wisdom. This daily audit transforms lived experience into integrated wisdom, ensuring you learn from every skirmish with fear and progressively strengthen your mental discipline. Structure your journal with 3 nightly prompts. 1. The event. What fear challenged me today? Describe it objectively. 2. The judgment and response. What story did I tell myself? Which technique did I apply or fail to apply? What was my actual response? 3. The lesson and redirection. What did this reveal about my judgments? How can I respond with more wisdom and courage tomorrow? This 10-minute practice installs a learning loop, turning life into a continuous curriculum in courage and ensuring no experience, especially failure, is wasted. Technique 10. The daily phalanx, building systems over relying on willpower. The Spartan phalanx was unconquerable because it was a system of interlocking shields and spears, not a collection of individual heroes. Similarly, the modern mind conquers fear not through heroic, one-off acts of willpower, which is a finite resource, but through the design of intelligent, automatic systems and rituals. James Clear's Atomic Habits philosophy aligns perfectly with Stoic practice. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. This technique is about engineering your environment and daily routines to make the practice of courage the default path of least resistance option. Design a daily phalanx routine that systematizes the previous 9 techniques. Example: the morning, the strategist,
5-minute pre-meditation with coffee, followed by reviewing your dichotomy of control for the day's tasks. Afternoon, the warrior. Schedule one voluntary discomfort task. Use objectification as a mental reflex when stressed. Evening, the philosopher. Unplug for the warrior's log journaling, ending with memento mori reflection. By ritualizing these practices, they cease to be decisions and become identities. The system holds the line when your motivation wanes, ensuring continuous progress in the campaign for self-mastery.
Synthesis, forging the complete warrior. This is where we move from isolated drills to integrated warfare. A Spartan hoplite alone was formidable, but within the phalanx, a system of interlocking shields and unified purpose, he became part of an unconquerable unit. Your mind operates on the same principle. True mastery is not the occasional application of a single technique. It is the fluid synthesis of all 10 into a seamless discipline of being. Imagine your day as a continuous campaign. You begin as the strategist in the morning calm, using Pre-Meditatio to map the day's potential battles and the Dichotomy of Control to define your exact field of action. When the first skirmish of fear arises at noon, a harsh critique, a daunting task, you transition into the warrior in action. You deploy objectification to see the threat clearly, retreat to your inner citadel for a breath of clarity, and emerge to act, perhaps role rehearsing the calm authority of your chosen exemplar. At day's end, you become the philosopher, conducting your warrior's log review with detached analysis, practicing amor fati to embrace the day's lessons, especially the setbacks, and concluding with the clarifying perspective of memento mori. This is not a rigid checklist, but a dynamic cycle of preparation, action, and reflection. The techniques support each other. The voluntary discomfort you practiced yesterday builds the resilience you draw upon today, and the view from above you apply in a moment of panic is strengthened by the systemic practice of your daily phalanx. You are no longer just practicing stoicism, you are living it. Building a self-reinforcing architecture of courage where the whole is infinitely greater than the sum of its parts.
The counterattack, addressing the weak points. Every strong defense must anticipate the enemy's probes at its gates. Let us disarm the most common objections before they become internal saboteurs. First, the charge of overthinking. Can't I just feel the fear and do it anyway? That popular mantra is the spark, but these techniques are the forge. They provide the repeatable, logical process for how to do it anyway when your motivation has fled and your instincts are screaming to retreat. This is the system that operates when sheer willpower fails. Second, the specter of emotionlessness. Doesn't this make me a cold, unfeeling robot? This is a profound misunderstanding. Stoicism is not emotion suppression, it is judgment transformation. The goal is not apathy, apatheia, but eupatheia, good, clear feelings. It is the alchemy of turning the chaotic fire of panic into the steady, usable heat of focused action, of transforming the grief of loss into the deep appreciation of what was had. It's about experiencing the full richness of a human life, guided by reason, not drowned out by turbulent, involuntary passions. Finally, the somatic rebellion. I understand it logically, but my body still reacts. My heart races, my hands shake. Excellent. This is where theory meets the battlefield of your biology. The physical response is not failure, it is ancient energy. Your task is not to stop the sensation, but to decouple it from the narrative of catastrophe. Use the adrenaline as fuel, not as a verdict. Notice it, My heart is pounding. This is my body preparing for a challenge. Then proceed with your deliberate action. The feeling may persist, but it is now a companion, a surge of power, rather than a commander holding a knife to your throat.
Your campaign begins. Knowledge without application is mere entertainment. You now hold the complete blueprint, the philosophy, the tactics, the counters, and the integrated system. The forge is hot, but you must now hammer the metal of your own character. Your campaign starts not with a vague resolution, but with a concrete 7-day Operation First Shield. Your mission? For the next week, dedicate 10 minutes each morning to Technique 1, the Pre-Meditatio Malorum, and Technique 2, the Dichotomy of Control. Use the drills precisely. That is your entire focus. In doing so, you will have already begun to dismantle the tyranny of the unknown and reclaim sovereignty over your mental territory. This is the foundational layer of your phalanx. To lock in this commitment and join the ranks of those committed to this path, you must take the 3 Spartan pledges. First, subscribe. This aligns your environment with ongoing training. Second, ring the bell. This ensures you receive muster calls for new drills and concepts. But the most critical is the third, report to the phalanx in the comments. This is your public sacramentum, your military oath. State which technique is your first focus and name the specific fear you will confront with it. This act of public declaration transforms passive viewing into active duty, creates accountability, and forges connection with your fellow warriors. Your journey from a subject of fear to a sovereign of your mind begins not tomorrow, but with the next conscious choice you make. Train your mind, conquer yourself. The gates of your citadel await your command.